We are live. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Good evening. Welcome into another episode of Pump or Dump. Let's see what's going on out there, guys. All right, so zooming in on the Bitcoin charts, we got a little bit of a pump action going on here, but if you'll notice, we had key support right there, right? Let's change the color of that to blue dabba dee ba da die, okay? So support here for 3 days in a row, bounced up, nice recovery, came back down, used it as support again for 3 more days, bounced up. And here we are. Are we flipping 66,225 into resistance? Right? We're testing it right now. Now, here's the caveat. We could break above that level on a wick, but unless we close above there, if here's the scary thing. If we wick up above it, if we close this new daily candle tomorrow that we're in right now below this level, we will have now confirmed it as resistance. We will have flipped it from support back here into resistance, which tells me we're coming down even lower, probably bouncing back down towards that 62,893 level. So sorry guys, had to cough there. So yeah, so that's what we're going to be watching for on BTC. It's quiet tonight, eh, guys? Holy smokes! All right, let's get into some of the news. Let's see what's going on out there. We got Bitwise CIO talking about Bitcoin should be at $200,000 right now, guys. This is kind of dangerous that we're still seeing these TradFi people that are still trying to apply TradFi logic to the crypto space. They just cannot wrap their minds around the fact that it's a 4-year cycle and that Bitcoin is now in a bear market. They can't wrap their minds around it, right? Like you're saying, like, well, Bitcoin should be 200,000. No, it shouldn't. It's going into it's in a bear market. What are you talking about, right? This has happened every single time since the inception of Bitcoin. This has happened, right? But let's listen in.
There has been so much fundamentally positive news, and it's just been buried sort of in the background. We've caused ourselves to ignore it. There's the strategic Bitcoin reserve. There's the SEC pulling back on essentially every lawsuit. There's progress on stablecoin legislation. There's talk of market structure legislation. There was the White House Crypto Summit. These are game-changing positive developments that should put Bitcoin trading at $150,000 or $200,000 today. It's been suppressed because in the short term, this overhang of the economic uncertainty is weighing on the markets. I think if that is released, we're at new all-time highs quickly, and we're on our way to where I think we'll be at the end of the year, which is Bitcoin 200,000. So I think there's been this sort of suppression of really good news. If that suppression is removed, I think it's a coiled spring. So in that scenario, I think we do exceptionally well.
Is there anything else that needs to happen to get us to Bitcoin at 200K by the end of the year?
I don't think so. You have these 3 horsemen of insatiable demand for Bitcoin. You have the ETFs, which I continue to think will have strong net flows this year. You have companies. We saw MicroStrategy buying more Bitcoin. I think the number of companies buying Bitcoin is going to triple this year. I think the game theory is on. It's slower than people maybe want in this impatient crypto world, but I think countries around the world are going to be buying Bitcoin. So there is structurally more demand than supply in Bitcoin. I think all we need is to release this sort of economic gloom that's hanging over us. If we do that, I think it's straight to the races.
Yeah, apparently everyone's watching Trump's address. Somebody got a link to it. I can't seem to find it over on X. So, I mean, if someone's got a link to it, yeah, we'll watch it together. But right now, I'm not seeing any links. I could probably find one over on YouTube, but then there'd be ads. Let's jump over to YouTube and find one. Yeah, here we go. Here, I'll share it over here.
And we will never go back to where we were just a very short time ago. We're not
Hopefully YouTube doesn't give us crap for sharing it on here.
secure. Thank you. Today, our border is secure. Our spirit is restored.
Buddy,
Inflation is plummeting. Incomes are rising fast. The roaring economy is roaring like never before. And our enemies are scared. Our military and police are stacked. And America is respected again, perhaps like never before. After 4 years in which millions and millions of illegal aliens poured across our borders, totally unvetted and unchecked, we now have the strongest and most secure border in American history by far. In the past 9 months, 0 illegal aliens have been admitted to the United States. But we will always allow people to come in legally, people that will love our country and will work hard to maintain our country. The flow of deadly fentanyl across our border is down by a record 56% in 1 year. And last year, the murder rate saw its single largest decline in recorded history. This is the biggest decline, think of it, in recorded history, the lowest number in over 125 years, year 1900. In fact, substantially before my wonderful father, I had a wonderful father, Fred, before he was born, substantially before he was born. That's a long time ago. He wouldn't like me to say that, but that's a long time ago. The Biden administration and its allies in Congress gave us the worst inflation in the history of our country. But in 12 months, my administration has driven core inflation down to the lowest level in more than 5 years. And in the last 3 months of 2025, it was down to 1.7%. Gasoline, which reached a peak of over $6 a gallon in some states under my predecessor, it was quite honestly a disaster, is now below $2.30 a gallon in most states, and in some places, $1.99 a gallon. And when I visited the great state of Iowa just a few weeks ago, I even saw $1.80.
so here's the thing while this ad's running, guys. Like, these public addresses, he's just talking about how great he is right now. And I'm not anti-Trump or anything, but like, get to the point of what it is you wanted to talk about, right? Like, why are you pumping your own tires?
Annual cost of a typical new mortgage is down almost $5,000 just since I took office. 1 year. And low interest rates will solve the Biden-created housing problem well, at the same time protecting the values of those people who already own a house that really feel rich for the first time in their lives. We want to protect those values. We want to keep those values up. We're going to do both. And we are going to keep it that way. The stock market has set 53 all-time record highs since the election. Think of that, 1 year. Boosting pensions, 401ks, and retirement accounts for the millions and millions of Americans. They're all gaining. Everybody's up, way up. In 4 long years, the last administration got less than $1 trillion in new investment in the United States. And when I say less, substantially less. In 12 months, I secured commitments for more than $18 trillion pouring in from all over the globe.
Let's go to a different feed and see if it's the same. Or rerun, it's the same.
As thousands of new businesses are forming and factories, plants, and laboratories are being built, we have added 70,000 new construction jobs in just a very short period of time. It's getting bigger and bigger and stronger. Nobody can believe what they're watching. American oil production is up by more than 600,000 barrels a day, and we just received from our new friend and partner, Venezuela, more than 80 million barrels of oil. American natural gas production is at an all-time high because I kept my promise to drill, baby, drill. More Americans are working today than at any time in the history of our country. Think about that. Any time in the history of our country, more working today. And 100% of all jobs created under my administration have been in the private sector. We ended DEI in America. We cut a record number of job-killing regulations, and in 1 year, we have lifted 2.4 million Americans, a record, off of food stamps. And for all of these reasons, I say tonight, members of Congress, the state of our union is strong. Our country is winning again. In fact, we're winning so much that we really don't know what to do about it. People are asking me, please, 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 Mr. President, we're winning too much. We can't take it anymore. We're not used to winning in our country. Until you came along, we're just always losing, but now we're winning too much.
My portfolio
And I
says
say,
otherwise.
no, you're going to win again. You're going to win big. You're going to win bigger than ever. And to prove that point, here with us tonight is a group of winners who just made the entire nation proud. The men's gold medal Olympic hockey team. Come on in.
Make my portfolio gold medal winning. How about that?
Welcome to Wix Harmony. Take the speed of AI and pixel.
Yeah. My investments are not winning, bro, right? But I'm glad that you've got a hockey team there. I love hockey as much as everybody else, but I love my portfolio that much more. I'm going to pause it because there's an ad running.
Go ahead. They do.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Carl. He did make crypto affordable again, right? When the heck did we get ice cream? The ringer, my portfolio, yes.
That's the first time I've ever seen them get up. And actually, not all of them did get up.
Shots fired.
But they beat a fantastic Canadian team in overtime, as everybody saw, as did the American women who will soon be coming to the White House. They were in the Oval Office before. And I just want to say a second very big congratulations to Team USA. But I have to say that, and I told them this, and we took a vote of the team. I said, anybody say no? Because I've never seen a goaltender play as well as goalie Connor Hellebuck. Think of it, 46 shots on goal. And I asked him, the one shot, the one where you put your stick in the back and it hit the neck of your stick and bounced off. You practiced that, or was that a little lucky?
You practiced that.
He refused to answer that question. But I just want to tell you that the members of this great hockey squad will be very happy to hear, based on their vote and my vote, and in this case, my vote was more important, that I will soon be presenting Connor with our highest civilian honor, which we will be given and which has been given to many athletes over the years. But when I say many, not too many, like 12, it's called the highest civilian honor in our country, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Great athletes have gotten that, very great, the best. And I thought he deserved it. And I did take a vote, every single one of them. I said, I'm not giving it if anybody goes no. And every single one of them rapidly put up their hand. So I want to thank you. What a special job you did. What special champions you are. Thank you very much. I'm also pleased to say that the next time the Olympic torch is lit, it will be here in America for the 2028 Olympics. And it's the summer version right in Los Angeles. We're going to do a good job in Los Angeles. And Los Angeles is going to be safe, just like Washington, D.C. is now one of the safest cities in the country.
What's up, buddy?
What's up?
Just
And this
watching the
year,
speech by
and
Trump.
I must say, I got them both. I got them in the first term. And I was
I forgot that he
disappointed
was
because
even
I
doing
didn't
one.
think
I
I'd
don't know
be
about.
the
Did
president
you
when this
remember?
happened.
I saw it was
Things
playing
took
live,
place,
and I was just
and
like,
now I've got
I'm
them because I
good.
got the Olympics and I got the
Well, yeah, like I'm
2026
curious about it, but at
FIFA
the same
World Cup,
time,
and I wanted
all
to
he's been
claim
doing
the
so far is talking about how
250th, but I
great he
didn't
is.
get away with that one. I couldn't claim that one for
Talking about
myself.
what?
Talking
But
about how
we're
great
getting the
he
World
is.
Cup, so we
Oh,
have
okay,
the
gotcha.
World Cup and the Olympics
Sounds
coming,
right.
and that
Sounds
is
accurate.
exciting news.
I mean, it's called a address of the union. What are we talking about here?
It's gonna be the biggest,
So this
the
will
best.
be a year to celebrate our country and the heroes who have kept it free. Men like Buddy Taggart. At age 17, Buddy volunteered to
I don't know how
defend
much
America
I'm going to
in
watch.
World
I think
War
he's going to
II,
be talking about
serving in
Iran,
the Pacific under the great
and I
General
don't know how
Douglas
much YouTube
MacArthur. He
likes
fought bravely in
when
the
we play that
famous
kind of stuff,
Battle
so I'll
of
probably
Manila.
cut it off
Worked
when he starts talking
so
about that.
hard. He was badly wounded and almost killed by enemy machine guns in
Because I think that
Luzon.
um,
And 81 years ago this month, he
I think that
liberated the
right
largest
in the terms of
internment camp
agreements as a
in the
content
Philippines,
creator,
one of
it's
the
like if
largest
you
anywhere in
can't
the
talk
world.
about that three-letter
But
word
he
that
earned
starts
many
with a
honors,
W.
including a Purple Heart and a
Yep.
Bronze Star, came home, started a family, and tonight he is in the gallery looking forward to July 4th, 2026, his 100th birthday.
Did you see the video I put out earlier today?
No, I
You
missed it.
Oh, I read from an article that that was you were the source of the article.
I was?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's awesome, man.
You have to watch the video I made. About 25 minutes long or something like that. Just covering Zebek and Solana's ecosystem. And
For sure.
yeah, your name down at the bottom, so I gave a shout out and showed everybody that it was from you. So
That's
Well,
awesome,
buddy, you're
man.
a brave man, and we salute you. Even in times of challenge, setback, and immense heartache, the spirit of 1776 has always shone through very brightly. It was July 4th of last year when floodwaters tore through a girls' summer camp in Central Texas. One of the worst things I've ever seen. I was there, rising 26 feet in the matter of minutes, tragically claiming many, many lives. You all remember
you want to
that
talk
one?
some crypto?
As the
I really
waters
don't want to
threatened
sit here and
to
listen to
sweep
him
her
talk
away,
about
11-year-old
let's talk
Millie
some
Kate
crypto.
McClelland closed.
Yeah, sorry guys. I don't want to listen to him talk about himself for the next 2 hours. I'll get the cliff notes later and we'll cover it. But let's talk some crypto, man. There was a couple of things. You did a live last night when you messaged me. I was actually doing a business meeting call with Katrina. So.
Oh really? Shout out to her.
Yeah, shout out. So. There was, what was I looking at? I was looking at something today that I was going to cover on here. The Canton Network. I'm looking at doing a deep dive video covering the two of them. One covering the partnership. What are your thoughts on the Lattice partnership?
Man, I've been hinting at Canton and Zebek probably partnering, and this is it. They're partnering, right? Canton showed it, Zebek showed it, and it's really, I think it's going to be bigger than people think. They're the first MasterCard on that system. It might lead to something even deeper with the DTCC because Canton's so heavily in league with the DTCC. It's an absolute game changer. If Canton's in the process of processing, in which I heard this said, and I had it in the live last night, they're processing, or they're going to process by mid-year hundreds of billions for the DTCC.
Yep.
And Zebek, yeah, with a B, right? And Zebek is going to be in on that, and possibly, offering a off-ramp with the Zebek cards, and, also with the Ondo USDY where they're offering yield. Yep. Man alive, that's going to be amazing.
I'm doing a deep dive. I'm going to be releasing that one tomorrow on that partnership. But then there's also another one that I'll be covering. Hang on, where is it here? The Canton and I think Canton and Redstone.
I looked into Redstone.
Yeah.
It's very interesting because it's like it's this oracle that they have for Securitize of all people, and we've been over it in the shows like how Securitize relates to all these different companies. Securitize has investors of Circle and Ripple, right? Also Morgan Stanley, also I think maybe Zero Hash. But Securitize is going public in the stock CEPT. Shout out to the Patreon, the Root Crew Patreon people. We've known that for quite a while here. But the thing to note there is that Cantor Fitzgerald, right? They're the ones who are bringing them public. And shout out to the Triple Threat, you, me, and Max. We were talking about Cantor Fitzgerald in an episode where we were talking about USAT, Tether's like regulated stablecoin, right? So that regulated stablecoin is like I think custodied or something like that by Cantor Fitzgerald. So all of these guys are kind of like linking in here together, and then you have Redstone being like the official oracle for Securitize,
which is big. They stole that from, Pith and everybody else, right? So Gora on Algorand, another oracle that has yet to take off, but may, right? So,
and then one thing to note there too, I believe that Redstone is also connected to Canton. I think they're a validator for Canton.
Yeah, that's the deep dive that I'm doing. They're actually the specific dive I'm doing is the connection from Canton Network and Redstone.
And there's a whole like esoteric thing to that because the red stone is like the philosopher's stone.
Yeah.
For those people who like that type of stuff, like it's interesting that they call it the red stone. Because again, that's the philosopher's stone. If you know, you know.
Symbolism, baby.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm gonna do a little bit of a dive on it, but I really those two partnerships I'm hoping that we can do a triple threat dive on or conversation on over on Coin Vault. So I think those would be two perfect kind of conversations to have.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, and it's kind of miraculous. It's kind of awesome too. All the different partners that connect to Securitize that connect to Redstone, and I think even like BlackRock is one of them, right? Yeah, so much to talk about there.
Oh, exactly. Probably be multiple videos. It's exciting times, man. It's exciting times. I was talking earlier just about. The last couple of days I've been showing people the bottoms of the 2021 cycle and how much in percentage form each altcoin kind of performed from the bottom of the last bear market to the peak back in like December, January, right? And because like all you're hearing is like the 2025 cycle was a dud, there was no altcoin season, there was no returns, right? And even though I literally show it, I pick up like dozens of coins and I'll go to the charts and I'll show like, Moonwell did like I think it was Moonwell that did like a 7,500% return from the bottom to the top, right? And I'm like, I understand how some people might feel they came in, a year and a half ago, right? So they kind of bought relatively close to the top. I can understand how they would feel. Plus the fact that everybody thought we were going to go so much higher, including myself. But that doesn't take away from the fact that if you were buying in the bottom ranges of the previous bear market, and the reason I've been stressing it so much is because we're in that range right now for this cycle, right?
Well, I'll tell you right now, our communities did very, very well.
Yeah.
yours with Ghost and XCN. XCN, I also had. We also shared Swift. You know what
Z-back
I
off.
mean? Zabag out. You're right. So our communities did really, really well. And if you were a part of the ISO coins, right? Everybody was saying before Trump took office, they were talking about meme coin this, meme coin revolution, meme coin super cycle. And what happened? It was actually a utility coin super
Yeah.
cycle in which coins like H bar went from like 4 cents to 40 cents. Coins like
Yeah.
Cardano went from like whatever to like 20 cents to like $1. XRP went from 50 cents to like $3.50. Like it was an absolute, like, stuff happened,
Yeah.
including Solana moving past its all-time high, but just not as much as people expected.
Well, we had a lot of people over in our Patreon through this cycle who hit 7 figures. A lot of people have announced, even in the chats or in our Patreon lives, that they paid off their mortgages, that they were able to buy their wife a car or paid off their medical bills or whatever the case might have been, right? Like, we made a difference in a lot of people's lives, right? Not everybody, but everyone who's still around. Guess what? Your turn, right? time to change your life now, right? So, but that often gets forgotten when the market goes down and it's like, oh, everybody didn't get out. So, it's like, you know what? We changed a lot of lives for the better, and we're going to change a lot more this time around. I'm looking forward to it, right? There's nothing more rewarding than helping guide somebody through the space and help them understand. And then in the end of it, they tell you that they hit 7 figures or they paid off their mortgage or, whatever the case might be. That's the most rewarding part of it at the end of the day, especially people with families, right?
Yes, indeed. It's really important, and of course, too, guys. Um, like I'm looking at the cycle as and like I want to generate passive income. Like I don't want to put money into things that are just perishable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to make my money work for me. So
Yeah,
I
you
want to
want
put it
you want assets, not liabilities.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Perfectly put, brother. Yeah. So I would encourage people to kind of look into like things that like dividend stocks and things that might do passive income, like even just stable coins and getting interest from your stable coins. Like you really want to create a passive income engine so you can be financially free, and that's the goal for me. um and this is the goal for everything. Like when you look at what's coming up for things like Zbeck, things like Canton, um you know it's looking like the 2026 can be a lot better. But one thing I want to share with you guys right quick, let me share my screen here.
Speaking of ZBEC, while you're doing that, tomorrow, super app.
Woo, yeah.
Tomorrow. Let's find out what the staking is.
So this is one of the things that I shared with my patrons, like so they're aware that this is happening. But there's a blood moon, and again, I use every type of tool that I can use to maybe take advantage of the market, right? And this is one of the tools. So this guy mentions throughout history, every blood moon has lined up with a bearish Bitcoin event. So January 2018, Blood Moon, Bitcoin fell from 20 to 10K, starting the bear market. May 2021, Super Blood Moon, BTC dropped from 58K to 30K due to regulatory pressure.
Okay, so
And
hang on,
then,
slow down for a second. So 2018, the Blood Moon, Bitcoin fell from 52K to 10K. Am I reading that right?
20K to 10K.
Oh, 20. Okay, that's a dollar sign there. Okay. So 20K to 10K, so it got dropped by 50% in 2018. And then in 2021, the Super Blood Moon, BTC dropped from 58K to 30K, so that's another 18K drop.
And
Keep
then
going.
here's the kicker where people might remember November 2022, Blood Moon, FTX crash, BTC nuked to 15K.
Do you remember what it was started at?
I don't remember, but I do remember that the news of FTX hit
Yeah.
on like November 2nd. The
Mhm.
market didn't actually clash until the blood moon / eclipse hit on November 7th.
Interesting. 5 days later.
Yes.
Interesting. And then 2025, Blood Moon marked the top, 126. Isn't that interesting? Next one is March 3rd, 8 days from today.
Right. Right. So
So the implication, if you will,
is that this might be our last little dump. Okay, but it might be March 3rd, and historically the blood moon has been some downturn for Bitcoin.
so let's say a 10 to 15K drop for Bitcoin, which is weird because it's had a little bit of a run so far this evening, rejecting off 66 too. But so let's say 66. So that'd be 56. That'd be about $51,000 if we had
Yep.
about a 15K drop, which is roughly where I think the bottom is, because the the 200-week moving average is at 58,500. It usually goes a little below there, so that would bring us, somewhere between 51 and 55K. That lines up perfectly.
Yep. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm not really gonna buy anything until I see how this blood moon shakes out. It's either gonna be 3 days before, like the second, or on the second, or third, or 3 days after. So that whole time, I'm gonna see like what happens. But I think this is the last little fall we'll have before things can go back up. Because after this, we should have the Clarity Act. Everybody's saying it should be done by April. After this, with Zebek and things like that, we'll have 100% of the supply out. The super app will be out. And if the Clarity Act hits in April, then they've already have everything set up as far as like the super app for desktop, institutions, and mobile, and 100% of the supply out. So it's looking like Zebek really timed it very perfectly. And then hopefully we get the Clarity Act. We also have the catalyst of Trump possibly replacing Powell with I forget, he's going back on Warsh.
Oh, has he?
Yes, because Rush doesn't want historically he doesn't like quantitative easing,
Uh-huh.
and that scared a lot of people. So it's some dark-haired woman that he's talking about replacing him with right now. I can't
Whoever pumps
remember
my
her name.
bags.
Exactly. I can't remember her name. Maybe somebody in the chat remembers her name. I think it's Susan something. But yeah, so possibly Powell getting replaced, and then possibly dividend or stimulus for American citizens who can, who fit in the tax bracket for that. But historically, once those other stimuluses went out, a lot of that money went into crypto. So
Yeah, 100%. People had extra money. Yeah, they bought crypto with it. Well, I mean, it'll be interesting, but I am going to be paying attention to, actually, Bruno, good question and good timing. Do I still think it's risky to be staking right now? Yes, I do. Um, I think it's risky until we found our bottom, because usually when we have these big crashes, like we're talking about right now, potentially on the 3rd, maybe we see another big flush out and we finally hit that bottom between like 50 and 55K, right? Then once that happens and the smoke settles on it, that's where I would start staking again. After, you want to make sure that we don't get another Celsius or anything like that where exchanges start going bankrupt or they start going under, DeFi protocols start going under because of the massive liquidations. So just wait it out a little bit longer, in my opinion, right? The last thing you want is your coins to be locked up with some DeFi protocol or something that goes under and takes your coins with it, right? So
100%. I totally agree with that. Especially, I'm kind of expecting this blood moon to have some type of, negative or downward reaction. You know, the right point was just like Rob said there to stake after that event occurs.
yeah, you don't want to be caught up. So that's definitely too risky for me right now. But yeah, I'm going to be paying attention, man. It'll be interesting. And the weird thing about it all is that no matter we're talking about it right now. Let's say we talk about it for the next couple of days. You tell people and you tell people and you tell people that the move down is coming, and then it happens, and there's certain people that still freak out even though they know it's coming, right? And I don't understand that mindset, because for me, if I know ahead of time that a move to the downside is coming, I'm saving up dry powder now. I'm excited. I'm waiting for it. And when it actually plays out, what that signals to me is that everything's working out according to plan, right? If we're planning for it to drop down around the third, let's say, right, and we're planning for that to happen and to bottom out and then reach a level of accumulation for the next 6 to 8 months, let's say, I'm now excited because it happened. We were waiting for it. It happened when it was supposed to. That says the plan is going according to plan, right?
Right,
So I
and
don't know.
shout out to BTCC, sponsors for both channels, right? Might be a great time to short Bitcoin like before that. Hopefully if it goes down, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely a time to get excited because all the bags that you have on the sideline, all the projects that you might have been looking into right now in the various Patreon, right? Now you can get into those projects at bargain prices, right?
Yeah.
And you may just have a small window, right, of whatever happens there. Because if you guys go back to the whole FTX clash, it was a pretty small window because everybody was still kind of anticipating Bitcoin falling below 16K, and it never did. And they were waiting, and they were waiting. Like 22K, they were still waiting.
Well,
They
and
were
that's
still waiting.
yeah. Well, and that's what happened, right? We saw that. Yeah, I remember 15K, and uh, you have all these people talking about 9K, and it's going lower, and so it was a disaster, man.
And that
But
shows you too, like people try to get consensus with all of these big wig, influencers, and they don't think about us who are like looking at the chart, who's telling you the real stuff, right? Um, I don't know. I don't know what to say other than that. Like, if you see Bitcoin drop, that may be the lowest it's going to be. Like, why not put a little bit in at that time?
yeah.
Like, you get in trouble trying to catch the absolute bottom when the bottom might be staring you right in the face.
Well, that's the thing. I never try to time the bottom. I like to pick a range. Like right now, I've entered that range where I'm DCAing, and if we go lower, here's where the funny thing comes in. The fun part is that when you get down to those levels, which we're expecting, you're going to see a lot of people with anxiety because they just want to, including myself, because you want to buy everything, but you got to make a plan. You got to stick to it, right? You can't be going. If you got $1,000, the worst thing you can do is buy 10 projects for $100. Like, what are you doing, right? I mean, it's not financial advice, but like you're spreading yourself thin. For me, now we get down there. Now you have time. It's called an accumulation phase. So now time is on your side to be able to do just that, accumulate, right? But for me, I like to focus on one project at a time, reach my goal, put it aside, go to the next project, set a goal, reach it, put it aside, and just do that, right? Instead of trying to get everything all at once.
And that's a good point, brother. Like, really go in with a plan and make the plan now, like before the crash happens. Like make the plan now, and get into the like maybe your top 3 projects. You know what I mean? I don't know what you guys' goal are, like $100,000, 500 K, a million, right? Like do the calculations on how much that would take you, right? At the current prices. So then when you get to the crash, heck, maybe like it's crashed like we just said here down to 51K. So that's bound to put all coins down at least, 20 or 30% probably.
Execute.
Yeah, yeah. And just get in there. But one thing too I want to show you guys that to give you a little bit of hope for the future, and I played this last night on the live. There's, shout out to Cypress Decimator for this one. Bring it up here. Okay, here we are. This is Georgia Pelissari. I think I said that right. Georgia Pelissari, Chief Product Officer at Hex Trust. She just spilled the beans, he says. Shout out to Cypress Decimator for this one. Hex Trust, they do a node validator with Canton. She's going to give us some news here, and she speaks kind of fast, or I don't know if he has it sped up, so I'm going to do the speed at 0.75. Trust me, it's going to sound like she's talking normal. Let's go ahead and play.
With the initial one, then we've had a lot of prep work, in my view, towards what we're gonna be seeing 2026, which in my view is extremely exciting, despite the red in the market, which is obviously sad to wake up to. But also after you're in crypto, you know that's cyclic, right? So you're gonna have downturns, and you need to keep pushing through, and especially in the institutional space. RWA tokenization. I think that's something that 2025 was a lot of build time, and we'll see the results this year. So I'm actually very, very excited, despite the bumpy first months of the year. But we have plans such as, for example, BTCC tokenizing by mid-year. Hundreds of billions of dollars, right? And they're going to do in a specific chain. We're going to, a name that probably many have heard so far in the market. But with the
DTCC tokenizing hundreds of billions, that's where that came from, hundreds of billions of dollars on a certain chain. Of course, we know that's Canton, right? Allegedly, that's what we were thinking is Canton, because you said DTCC. We know they're hooked up with DTCC. But she seems absolutely confident that that's going to happen this year, and that towards the middle of the year, we're going to be out of this tailspin. So
I'd also like to highlight something that she said that probably flew under the radar for some people. And the reason I want to highlight it is because people like myself and you, we say this stuff, but it gets the eye rolls and it gets the, oh, it's just a YouTuber saying this, right? Like, listen, she just highlighted it. Someone that, in a very well-respected position. There's red in the market where we are right now. But if you've been in crypto for a while, this is cyclical. This is normal, right? This is part of the cycle. Right? It's not something that just YouTubers say because they feel like saying it, right? Like it's true. And if you can legitimately learn how to navigate this market properly without emotion and without anxiety and a lack of patience, you will succeed beyond your wildest dreams financially.
Yep.
If you can learn to navigate this market instead of rolling your eyes and not being willing to put in the work. Geez, man, I'm willing. Listen, I don't know how some people are, but for me, if I got to put in work and research and pay attention, right? Instead of watch Netflix, go to the bar and do what I want to do for a couple of years. And that means that the rest of my life is going to be changed forever and I can do whatever I want, whenever I want for the rest of my life. I'm not lazy. I'm not that lazy that I would be like, I'm not going to do that, right? I'm just going to get someone to tell me to buy a meme coin and hope for a million X or something, right? Like it's there. That's the hardest part for me to try to explain to people, is that it is there for the taking, for the people who want to put in the work. Really, at the end of the day, the people who are here in the chat right now, They're the people who are still here. And the people who are still here in the bottom areas of these cycles are the people who come out on top at the tops of these cycles. So congratulations.
And I can tell you guys right now, like having gone through multiple crypto cycles, it's hard. And what my brother here, Rob here is saying, it's true. And you see that once you go through a multiple cycles, you're like, okay, well, this is cyclic, right? Now I've built my bag bigger than what it was last cycle. Okay, maybe this is my last cycle because I've reaped the rewards of one cycle. Now I can take it into the next cycle and keep repeating, right?
Yeah.
But you have to be willing to understand the cycles. You have to be willing to go through the cycle, the emotional damage. once a cycle hits the bearish market time, you know what I mean, and get into communities like ours where we're going to tell you, okay, look, it feels bad right now, but this is not too unexpected, despite all of the people saying that, okay, the 4-year cycle is over. Maybe in some ways it will be if we get out of this tailspin in mid-year, like Georgia said, right? That in one case that would be maybe half right, that the cycle was, you know what I mean, the 4-year cycle is over, because if we would only be in a bearish time for a few months, whereas people thought it would be a year. So people, that would be like kind of half right. But we shall see. But the moral of that story is that communities like these, communities like ours, help navigate you through this process.
Well, we were talking today in the Patreon Live about, you know how I started a fresh portfolio for this cycle, and
Yep.
every day I make a recorded video of my buys, my sells. I show everybody on screen what I'm buying and everything, right? How much I'm holding, all that stuff. Because there's a lot of people who want to follow along through the course of this cycle with me to learn how to structure a portfolio properly. And that way, even on the red days and the flash crashes a year and a half from now, because they will come, right? They always do. There
Yep.
will be flash crashes in this cycle. But on those days, your portfolio manages to stay stay green, because you built from the ground up. You started with blue chips, right? And you made moon bags along the way and stuff. And we were laughing because when I say it, it sounds easy, right? It sounds so easy. The problem is the day to day. If you just glaze over it, the whole thing, and say, yeah, this is all you got to do, it sounds simple. The grind of the daily, part of it, right? The days where there's flash crashes and you're buying when you're like, man, like I'm scared right now, and you're too scared, but you're buying anyway, like I'll be doing. And then the other days, which will come as well, where there's euphoria in a specific project, like I don't know, Avantis goes up 500% in 4 weeks, and I'm sitting there saying, guess what? I'm selling all my Avantis. Why? Because it went up 500% in 4 weeks. It's coming back down. At that point, the emotional restraint again for people who think it's going to go higher and don't want to sell and end up holding and riding it back down again. So all of the intricate day-to-day monotonous stuff that happens throughout the course of an entire cycle when you're structuring a portfolio sounds easy to navigate, but there's a reason that most people can't do it, right? Because it's a grind, right?
And
It
then,
is. It
all
is
right,
full.
well,
Sorry, but I just want to finish that and just say
no worries.
it is full of the coulda, shoulda, wouldas.
Well, like what Rob is describing there too is like kind of the phenomenon that if you're a rookie in this game, a lot of people trade backwards, and which once things are pumping, that's when they get into the market. They don't touch the market when it's now a accumulation phase. When things are red, they're too scared to. But that's exactly when you should be in making moves, accumulating when things are red, right? And you learn that in communities like this. So I bet you bottom dollar right now, Rob's working on a brand new portfolio. People will care once everything has risen.
Yeah.
And the portfolio's up and then it's green. But right now is the point where you should be accumulating because everything's red. And
Yeah.
it's hard to like retrain your brain to like shut out the noise, shut out the news noise, because the news noise they'll keep showing you red, 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 and they'll keep saying the bad news. But that's when the smart money is investing. That's exactly when they're investing.
The goal is to get that portfolio before the end of this cycle to $1 million. Just to show everybody how to do it from scratch, starting from zero, how to build a portfolio over the course of a 4-year cycle from zero to $1 million.
Nice.
All of the swing trades along the way, all the profit taking and rolling profits and DCing and buying the flash crashes and selling the euphoric green candles and all that stuff that comes in between, right? It's very, very intricate, and it requires, like Miller Mountain says, it requires these two things: patience and consistency, right?
Huevos, balls, big balls.
Cojones.
That's right. It requires a lot of that because does it feel good to sell when you see that the chart it's maxed out on RSI? Does it feel good to sell at the high? No, but that's the right move.
Because 3 weeks later, when it corrects 50, 70%, it feels pretty damn good. Right?
Exactly. 100%.
When I told everyone in the Patreon, when ZBEC hit like 2071, I think it was, which was the high for this cycle, I didn't know it was the high for the cycle at the time, but it had made that run up like 500% in like 3 weeks or something. And I told everybody in the Patreon, you need to take profits. And there was a lot of people who got angry at me. They're like, what do you mean? It's going to a penny. It's going higher. I said, yes, it's possible it could go to a penny. But when something runs up 500% in 3 or 4 weeks, people are going to take profits. And that selling pressure is going to push the price back down. So you should be taking your profits and waiting for a re-entry point. Right?
Right. And even if you're very, very, very convicted, right? It's still not an either or conversation. You could still take half profits or, 60% profits and leave that little moon bag just in case. So that's what a lot of people, I think, have trouble with too. They think, okay, I'm either all in or I'm all out. No.
Well, the problem is people take it when you tell them to take profits on something that's gone up like 500% in 3 or 4 weeks. They take that as like an insult, like you're funding the project or like you no longer like the project. And that's not the case. And to be perfectly honest with you, that shouldn't even matter. You're here to make money at the end of the day, not to fall in love with a project, right?
It's just like George has said there and Rob has said earlier in the show, things are cyclical. So if it's cycled up to its top, the natural part of that cycle is for it to cycle back down.
Yeah.
It might cycle back down to a lower low, but it's going to cycle back down.
Yeah. And then you can take a re-entry point, right? If you love the project, there's nothing wrong with that. So
yeah, it's hard building that muscle, but that's what these communities are for.
Yeah, exactly. Like I remember my first cycle and people ask me about it from time to time. And I'm just like, I was the same as all of you guys who it's your first cycle, man. But I had it a little, in some ways it's a double-edged sword because there was not many crypto YouTubers out there that you could really rely on to watch and kind of pay attention, right? There was only a handful at the time. So that was a bad thing, but at the same time, it was a good thing because now we've gone from not enough people dropping valid information to an oversaturated network and most of those people don't know what they're talking about, right? So it's I guess it's a double-edged sword. If you can find good channels and good communities, that are going to guide you in the right direction and not just get paid to shill, the latest whatever coins coming out, right? Then you might get lucky and do that, right? But yeah, I don't know, man. I was there. I was a beginner like everybody else, and that's something I stress to my community all the time. It's like I'm not any different than anybody else who's just starting in crypto. The only difference between me and someone who's only been here for a year is the amount of time and experience I have in the market. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm not smarter than you. I'm not better than you. I'm not nothing. I was in the same position as you about a decade ago, right? So, like, that, for me, that would be all the motivation I need. Like, I'm not, like, again, I'm no different than anybody else. I'm you 10 years from now. That's what I am. Right? Think about it that way. Right? That is when I took profits on XN. Yes. Marvin, my dude, Diamond Hands, DCA, all we can do. Yes, thanks, Brother Rob. You're the best. Hey, absolutely, man. Thank you, Marvin. Marvin, you've been with me a long time now, brother. God bless you, man. God bless you. Brock says I get paid next week, and I'm having a really hard time deciding if I want to grab 10K of Swift coin or Stronghold. Or both are amazing. Well, Brock, what I would say is you have time to be able to accumulate both of them, in my opinion, over the course of 2026. So, yeah, I mean, pick one or 50-50. Either way, man, those are two phenomenal projects, in my opinion. So, and Rue, I know you love those projects. So.
Definitely. Like you already know.
Yeah. All right, buddy. It's been about an hour. I got to get out of here. I got to put my son to bed. Thanks for popping in, man. I appreciate you. Thanks for the conversation. And I guess we're back at it the day after tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thursday live stream. Me, you, and the triple threat Maximus Crypto. All right, buddy. Thanks a lot, man. Guys, thank you for being here. Thanks for listening to the conversation. And for everybody who sent super chats, thank you so much for the support. Make sure you go subscribe to Rue's channel, to Max's channel, and here on our channel, and also the Coin Vault. Make sure you're subscribed over there as well. We'll see you guys in the next one. God bless.
Peace.